morning. I have a feeling that soon all faiths will be unified. And the good thing about this is that no one will need to convert to anything. My conviction is that we already believe in the same thing. But none of us believes we do. We all think we believe in different things. We don't. And really, the fact of believing in the same thing has been there since the beginning of time. But there is an obstacle in the way of our lucidity. The obstacle is free will. Whether it is free or not, a will is simply the capacity to want. Our free will is not able to see reality clearly, and there is a good reason for that. But we will come back to that later. If we were lucid, we would see that the almighty power ruling every moment of every creature's life is lack. If we were lucid, we would see that all we are is servants of lack. Lack dictates all our intentions and all our actions. We feel hunger and we want to serve it. We feel thirst and we want to serve it. We feel a lack of anything else and we want to serve it. Lack is so omnipresent and powerful that it continuously dictates the focus of our consciousness. If we were lucid, we would see that all creatures religiously believe in all the little messages offered by the almighty power that is lack. We feel a lack, it becomes a desire, and a desire triggers our will, and this is where lucidity becomes very difficult, almost impossible. I will try to explain. Since each lack triggers our will into wanting, it makes us feel that the present, as it is not satisfying. And instantly, our point of focus is directed towards what we would like instead, which is what we want. Every lack makes us feel that we're not satisfied with the way things are. We don't like the way things are, but we would like it if they were the way we want. So instead of contemplating the present moment, we enter a state of conditional gratefulness. We are not grateful for our lacks, but we would be grateful if we had what we want. We are not grateful for hunger. We would be grateful if it disappeared. We are not grateful for thirst, but we would be grateful if it disappeared. We are not grateful for our lacks, but we would be grateful if they all disappeared. Because lacks makes us unsatisfied with the way things are in the present. It makes us rush into trying to eliminate them as if our life depended on it. Every time we feel a lack, we cry, we scream. On the sixth day, God created man. But the normal course of things made us arrive as children, crying and screaming children. We were crying, screaming and praying, and we're too immature to see the value of knowledge. We were too unconscious and immature to realize that the only way to be efficient at a task is to first learn and know about what a task is. When we don't know what to do, what are the chances of doing it well? If humanity was mature and lucid, it would begin to appreciate the clarity of the knowledge offered by the commands of lack. Although the present would remain unsatisfying, we would be grateful for the knowledge offered by hunger. We would be grateful for the knowledge offered by thirst. We would be grateful for the knowledge offered by all our lacks, because they bring a clear vision of the tasks that need to be accomplished. You know, there seems to be a constant on this planet. whatever the task may be, whether very simple or very complex. A job well done always seems to bring a reward, and the reward is always the same. A job well done always brings satisfaction. When we serve hunger, it brings satisfaction. When we serve thirst, it brings satisfaction. When we serve all lacks, it brings satisfaction. A mature humanity would stop rushing into eliminating lacks. We all know the difference between getting rid of a task as fast as possible or applying ourselves at doing it. When we don't rush and take the time, the result is better and the satisfaction greater. There is no way around this, and it doesn't matter which way we decide to look at it. From the day we are born, the almighty power of lack has determined our focus, our intentions, our actions, and our service to those lacks has determined our lives and our survival. All we are is servants of lack, and even though we are forced into being unsatisfied most of the time, if we stop rushing into eliminating the lacks and pray for help to eliminate them, we could begin to take the time to contemplate the knowledge, contemplate the feeling of knowing exactly what needs to be done, and contemplate a greater satisfaction for having done it better. We all saw pictures of hungry children. Most of us feel sorry for them, and we don't know how to help. We don't even know where they live. So we feel that there's nothing we can do. But even if we don't know where they are, there is a very easy way to make a difference. Imagine that half of us, half of 7 billion people, were hungry. And instead of rushing into eliminating our lack, we took the time, 10 minutes, to contemplate hunger as being knowledge. 10 minutes to contemplate our status of being servants that are grateful for knowing exactly what needs to be done. 10 minutes of patience multiplied by 3.5 billion people would equal 800,000 months a day. Every day we could create 800,000 months only with 10 minutes of patience spent at contemplating the almighty power that creates life. Can you imagine how much plants and animals could grow in 800,000 months? Can you imagine how many people could be fed by that growth? You shall not kill. Isn't he killed by our combined immature impatience and selfishness? Isn't he killed by our inability to take the time to contemplate the almighty power that gives us life through knowledge? Look at the picture again. Doesn't it look like a lack? A big lack with eyes looking straight at us. God knows everything. A long time ago, some men came to try to instruct us about God. We call them prophets. But our faith was very young and immature. Our faith in a single God. It was like a child then. And there are many things children cannot understand. They cannot understand that 1 + 1 = 2. They cannot understand that they are servants of lack, even though that's all we see them do. All they do is want all the time. But luckily, the 6th day of Genesis was long enough for us to grow. With maturity, incomprehensible becomes obvious. It is obvious that 1 + 1 = 2. It could become obvious that we are all servants of lack. It could also be obvious that all the prophets were exemplary servants that tried to unite us. Isn't it obvious that we were all too immature to understand their message, since all we understood led to our separation? We are all servants of lack, and with some maturity and lucidity, we could serve better. What do you do for a living? I serve lacks. Do you like it? I love it. Oh Father, I do not pray you to be my servant. I contemplate you for making me yours. Oh Father, thank you for your patience. Forgive me for my slow awakening, and forgive me for not having been truly grateful. Once upon a time, there was a place shaped like a ball hanging in the heavens. There were 4 little anxious, demanding, and impatient boys. 3 of them believed in Santa Claus, and the other one did not. He believed in numbers, and his calculations had told him that Santa Claus could not exist. There was also a big tree, the tree of the knowledge of something, I can't remember. The tree was so enormous that its shade was covering the whole ball, and nothing else could grow. Eventually, the 4 impatient, anxious, and demanding little boys became calm adults that had realized they all had believed in the same thing all along. They realized that religion meant to relate to, and that we were all related to each other through life and through the power of lack. Together, they decided, enough of the big tree, and put it down. The light could finally reach the ball, and the ball turned into a garden. There was a name for that garden. I can't remember. Like the shade of the big tree, vanished anxiety, impatience, and selfishness. Flowers turned into fruits. Human-like childhood turned into humanity. Immaturity turned into lucidity. Prayers turned into contemplation. And on the 7th day, God could finally rest.